afternoon. Welcome back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. I am losing my voice, so if it crackles and all of that stuff like a Rice Krispies treat, I am sorry. But we are here to go over 90 Day Fiancés, The Single Life. This will be season 5, episode 3, The Art of the Situationship. I haven't been getting the greatest views on this, so I'm going to give it a try during the reviews with the pre-record. I just feel like 90 Day The Single Life is kind of all over the place. So I will be doing this review alone, but we will have James to continue reviewing 90 Day Before the 90 Days with us, which we do live, generally on Mondays. But 90 Day to Single Life is all over the place. I kind of get what they're doing because it's like they are single people. And to be single looks different for everybody. Some people are single, celibate, not talking to nobody, not dealing with nobody, just to themselves. Some people are trying to restart after a divorce. Some people are having fun on girls' trips like Sophie, Julie, and Liz. And then there's a single people in situationships. So they're doing the best they can with this show, but I'm kind of annoyed at what they're doing thus far. It's a very slow start to a season, is what I'll say. But we're going to start this episode discussing Sophie and Pedro. I'm sorry, no shade to Sophie. Whenever I see girls get on TV and the first thing they do when they get a little checky check is change their face, their titties, their everything, I say to myself, you're a pick-me. Because my goodness, she was already a beautiful girl, and I feel like she's ruining her body and her face and aging herself with all this plastic surgery. And we start the episode seeing Julia come in the room to play with her friend, and Sophie's like, I can't just jump on the bed because of my implants. I'm like, are they new? Because her titties are so far apart from each other. I don't know if they're new, if they're old, but they look stiff and hard and like they hurt. And Sophie kind of confirmed that. And then Julie touched it and was like, oh, that's hard. She's like, no, it's soft. Sophie, Erica Mena, to most of the women with boob jobs, keep it small and cute because the bigger y'all go, the worse it looks. I'm sorry. If it's meant to fit your body, it's meant to fit your body. But your titties should not be rock solid, Sophie. So please figure that out. But Sophie is talking to Julia in the bed because they're having a rainy day in the Dominican Republic. So they can't really go outside. Places are flooded. And Sophie's upset with Liz because Liz had spoken to Pedro in the last episode. And Liz was just like, she just got out of a relationship. She's moving slow. She may not quite be ready, but she seems to like you. That got back to Sophie somehow. And she's really upset with Liz for that because she feels like Liz is interrupting her ability to get to know Pedro. And I kind of don't think it's that deep. If you don't like the boy enough that you want to be with him, then you can't get mad at your friends who were cornered by him for questioning your switch up. It's given Sophie was flirting with him and making everything cute. And then once he showed interest, she's not interested. It's given what that guy on Reddit said. There's a Reddit thread on this season of The Single Life. And someone's like, oh, another shallow girl like Sophie who's only interested in the guys that are playing hard to get. It's almost like Sophie needs to have a little bit of toxicity to stay involved and be interested. And I could be wrong. She seems like a nice girl. But like when it comes to dating, I feel like she knows she's a pretty girl and she tries to use her pretty privilege in a way that could be a little bit toxic as it relates to the men she dates. Because why are you even entertaining and talking to Pedro? Why are you accepting expensive gifts from a man when you know that you don't want to be in a relationship? Now, for the single girls out there, or the girls who think they're going to become wives, acting a fool, the baddies, should we call them, they may be like, nope, get your money, get your gifts, period this, period that. And that's why they're all alone. I don't know if y'all notice your favorite rappers, the city girls, the baddest bitches, all the girls who talk about they could get this from a man, that from a nigga, they're all alone. And if they do have somebody, their man is all over the press, or his eggplant emoji is for the community. So don't always listen to that. If real woman, if you're not interested in a man, you're not going to accept the gift from him, or you'll at least make it clear to him when accepting the gift. Like, are you sure? Because I'm not ready for a relationship. Like, I've had men gift me and stuff. before a spouse. Like, and that was way back when I was young. So I'm like, if men was gifting people back then, I'm sure when they get jobs and degrees and careers, they're gonna keep gifting you. But I think you want to be treated like a wife. You want to end up in a loving relationship. You get what you put out into the universe. So if you are putting out that you're going to accept gifts from a man that you're not interested in, Sophie, then you're going to keep ending up in crazy situationships like this. You getting what you putting out into the universe. So for you to be mad at your friend when you've been on some crazy stuff makes no sense. Leave Liz alone. Why would Liz travel to the Dominican Republic all the way from Washington? That's across the country, and then exiting the country. Why would she travel all the way out there to support you while you meet Pedro if you're not over him and still been sleeping with your ex and talking to your ex here and there? Sophie is wrong. Sophie, y'all can come at me with the, oh, girl power this, girl power that. I'm all for girls, but I'm also all for holding each other accountable. Sophie is wrong. The way she's moving is not going to lead her into a relationship with anybody. If anything, if I was a man watching her, I'd be like, okay, give the bitch a gift, leave her alone, don't call, don't follow up, and she might show interest. That's all she's doing. But I also questioned Sophie in the earlier season for wanting to date Pedro. And I know some of the people who watch my reviews feel like with Pedro and Chantel, Pedro tried. A real man wouldn't have let his mama and his sister do what she was doing. I feel like Pedro and Chantel are equally responsible for their breakup, but the way that Pedro moved was slippery. It was shady. And now that he has citizenship, he don't have to move that way no more. But I don't know. I just feel like Sophie dating someone who she's been on the show with for years, knows in the same circles. Like, I felt like that was weird. It says a lot about her. But Sophie also gives us more red flags. Part of her anger with Liz, she says, I didn't like that Liz talked to Pedro. Your friends should only have good things to say about you. Again, can we play Drew Sidora as delusional? Because Sophie is delusional. Your friends, yes, they should have and feel more good about you. We'll use Tyler Perry's 80-20 rule. It should be 80% good, but realistically, a person is not going to be able to 100% say good things about you. And until I see any loyalty, like how Sophie is as a friend, I don't feel like her and Liz, who had a tumultuous relationship in the past, I don't feel like their friendship is so deep that she needs to expect so much out of Liz. But let me know if you guys feel differently, because a lot of people did feel like Liz overstepped. Me, if you don't care about the girl, about the man, Sophie, then who cares what Liz tells him if you're not tripping? Who cares? But every person is different. So let me know if you guys feel differently. But what it's looking like so far is Liz aired your ass out and gave Pedro the truth that you was trying to BS and gaslight him away from. Now you got to be held accountable, and you mad about that. But you can't get mad at Pedro because you sat there in the room, even though you're 26, 4 years from 30, acting like you was 26 going on 14, calling Pedro because he left you on red. Now you're suddenly interested because he don't want to deal with you. And you think he don't want to deal with you because of Liz, but he don't want to deal with you because you told him not only do you not want a relationship, but you still sleep with your ex. You still go sit on it when you feel like it. Sophie's so full of it. She could dish it out, but she can't take it. I don't like chicks like her. Send her back to the UK or return her to sender, wherever she came from. That's that. I'm not feeling her thus far. She just gives shallow and like she's trying to get whatever she can out of an American man. And I feel like if Pedro was an American man, I feel like Sophie wouldn't be playing this game with him. I'm going to just keep it a buck. I really feel that way. But we are going to move forward to Liz. Nothing's happening with Liz. Sophie's in a room complaining about Liz, and Liz is actually living the single life. She's on the beach taking a surfing lesson. She's been asked on a date. She's vibing with this boy, and she's just trying to have a good time. Liz seems to be doing what Sophie should do, taking it slow and being, open-minded. But we know Liz used to waitress, and I always say, watch out about a waitress or anybody that worked in customer service or hospitality because they could woo their way anywhere. I tell y'all, they can. But Liz, don't take no boys in the Dominican Republic seriously. No shade. Between the water and the things that goes on out there, if you go to the Dominican Republic, go for the food, go for the culture, go for the beaches, go for the scenery. I wouldn't recommend going and just sleeping with any old body. You might bring something back with you. that your doctor might have to help you get rid of. So that's all I'm going to say, but I will digress. We will come back to Sophie, Pedro, Liz, and Julia's pregnant ass. We will come back to them again next week. There wasn't much that happened with them this episode. So we then get to be introduced to Vanya, who's 42 years old, blonde and fabulous, and she is in Florida. We have a lot of cast members in Florida. Okay, y'all, we have a lot of cast members in Florida, but Vanya was cool. She works in medical sales. Looks like she has all sorts of jobs. She tells us about, because she was on 90 Day before, which most of these people were. She was dating someone else. I believe it was like the Czech Republic, somewhere weird and random. But the situation didn't work out. She was celibate before talking to the person we saw her with on 90 Day for 6 years. Gave up her celibacy to be with that person just for it not to work out. And the person ended up secretly recording their sex tape or something crazy. I said, the hell is going on? Why would you secretly record someone while you're intimate with them? That's like creepy on so many levels, because it's like, okay, not only are you recording me without permission, but do you like not plan on sleeping with me again? Why do you need to record it and keep it? Like, what are you doing with the recording? I felt like that was strange and a huge violation. So I felt for you, Vanya, having to deal with that. But I liked Vanya. Her personality was bubbly. She was pretty like out there, exciting. I don't really have anything bad to say about Vanya. She's pretty chill. She says that she has a friend and she's going back into her celibacy thing. So she doesn't want to. And if you do celibacy, y'all, it's not supposed to be, I'm celibate until this. It's usually you're celibate until marriage, not when you meet some guy across the country or the world. Like, stick to your goal, please. But she has this friend who she met at some event through work, and they've been close and hanging out and developing like a close friendship for, it sounds like, a year and a half. And Vanya says that she got to a point where she was like, I need to make a move on this person. So she kissed her friend because she was waiting forever and ever and feeling these vibes. But the friend obviously wasn't interested in her enough because homeboy never made a move. So Vanya, I get worried for her, because when we meet the guy friend, it gets even more awkward because he seems like a nice guy. They seem to vibe well, but I got not a single like romantic chemistry type of energy or vibe from these people. And I don't care if you know people are not. If people are romantically involved, you can tell. Like, if I'm not holding my husband's hand walking down the street, but we're in the same room, like just our body language and interactions coming near each other, you'll be able to tell that we do things in the bedroom together from time to time. Like, you can tell. I sensed no romantic anything from them. Like, it seemed like she was more so the one that felt something for him, but homeboy just seemed like he wants to have friendship with Vanya. And it's sad because when I look at like Michael and Laura, who are on 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, Laura has a best friend named Michael. I sense all sorts of chemistry between her and her best friend, right? But you sense nothing with Vanya and this guy. And I'm like, why would you kiss him? And she talks to him and she's kind of like, I want to take it to the next step. I really like you. And this is where we learn that he got into a marriage, and that's why he never like talked to her on a more serious note. They continue to be friends because he didn't want to let go of her, even though he was in a marriage. Red flag. His marriage ended shortly. Red flag. And now that his marriage is over, he still don't know if he wants to be with her. He's like, I just can't commit to you or say that I can commit to you right now, but I like you. I'm like, Vanya, please run. You're beautiful. It may take you a little longer to find someone, but run away. Because one thing I have learned about men is if they want you, they want you. If a man is interested in something or wants something, whether it be a new car, a new pair of shoes, a new gaming console, or a wife, if a man wants something, he will apply pressure and come and get it. If the pressure is not there, he don't want you, or he's a virgin. And I highly doubt this man, who's been married so many times, is a virgin. He just don't want your ass, Vanya. Please move on. Please move on, girl. Because I like Vanya, y'all. She's chill. I have nothing bad to say about her. She's financially secure. She's living her best life. Body is tea. I like Vanya, but honey, this is part of why you're probably struggling in life. If he likes you, you will know. You will have to tell him, please stop calling me, or I was busy. My bad. I missed this. He will be checking on you. This man wasn't checking on her, wasn't checking for her, didn't even hold her hand on the roller coaster. I said, Vanya, throw him in the trash can and take it out to the curb. Nothing's good for this guy. Nothing. But we'll see more. 90 Day the Single Life. Y'all just throwing people in here. But it's cool. We're going to discuss Colt and Courtney. I want to CC Courtney's parents and everybody in an email about these two because they are stressing me out. So Colt and Courtney been having intimacy issues. She keeps saying, I love Colt and he loves me. He just can't get it up. I don't want to deal with his gummy worm anymore. I said, Courtney, you don't want to deal with this gummy worm. Listen, men are not always at attention with their private parts, but if you call it a gummy worm, that thing must just look disappointing. It has to look disappointing. But we see them, she's putting like eye patches on him, and like she's kind of treating Colt like he's like a baby doll, like how girls learn to do makeup and hair by playing with their dolls or doing it with our sisters, cousins, friends. Like that's how Courtney treats Colt. I'm starting to kind of see that Courtney's problem in relationships may be her. She seems like a really sweet girl, but no shade. If I was a boy, my light switch wouldn't be coming on either. Why are you doing this with this man? Like, I don't understand what she's doing with him. But her mom comes in the room and it's like, okay, Courtney, yeah, lights out in 10 minutes. I said, the fuck? Lights out in 10 minutes? She's 34. And why you didn't knock on the door? I understand it's her parents' house because Colt and Courtney are living with their parents, but this is why you do not want to live with your parents. Don't you knock on my door when I'm in this room with me and my man talking about 10 minutes, lights out? Yeah. What? Go to bed, Mom. Lights out for you. 34? Courtney, we are the same age. There's no reason if you are 34 years old that this should be happening. Even if you live with your parents at 34 years old, there's no reason on God's green earth that they should be coming into the room telling you lights out in 10 minutes, especially when they got a big ass house. If you don't take your old ass in the room, Mom, and close the door, you're not going to hear nothing. And then I'm looking and I'm laughing. I had to pause the television and crack up because it's like, her mama was doing that because she don't want her daughter to be knucking and bucking and getting busy and doing the wild thing in her house. Little does she know that man can't keep it up for her daughter. That man is not attracted to your daughter. He liked them Brazilian things. Okay, Colt is never letting that go. And I'm mad at TLC for putting his nasty ass back on my camera. He is one of the nastiest men ever. And it baffles me that anybody would date him. And I can understand why he has to go abroad to look for women, because the only women that are going to date him are the ones that need citizenship. Let's just call a spade a spade. Don't nobody want Colt. That Negro is nasty looking. He is nasty looking. He looked like he stank. And I just cannot. But after we see her mama walk in the room, Courtney actually listened to her mom and was like, okay, babe. Gave him a kiss on the head and left. Talking about good night. Girl, if you don't get into bed with your man, you talking about you having problems in the bedroom, his gummy worm will not turn into nothing stale and stiff. And you can't seem to get no dick. So you think the solution is listening to your mama and leaving the room? No, bitch, get naked. Lock the door. Risk it all. Like, why do I have to tell you this? I don't understand why I have to tell you this. I just don't, Courtney. I don't. But it started to look like, I know a lot of people online are like, okay, Colt's not attracted to Courtney. I don't feel like she's attracted to him either. Because when they get to the hotel that they rented so they could have time together, he strips naked. Looked like he got a giant hernia in his stomach. Shit was nasty. But he strips down to nothing but a Speedo and a bow tie. And She's like, oh, babe, you look sexy. Courtney, you know he don't look sexy. If he looked sexy when he hopped in that bed, you would have took his hand and put it between your thighs or something. Like, do something, okay? Do something. Courtney making it look like I miss Sue from back in the day on that Oxygen Network who used to do the talk sex late at night. That's we should not. I understand his pickle is not rising to the occasion, Courtney, but if I had a man and he was not getting excited, I'm trying lingerie on. I'm seeing what that mouth do. I'm doing everything I can to get it excited and then just hop on as fast as you can. Like whatever you got to do, Courtney, please get it done. And then you can know if this man really wants you. But right now it is looking like he's using you. Um, they end up going out with some friends after their hotel night and they go to the ice bar, which I don't find that to be fun. Maybe for people who live in hot ass humid ass Florida, they enjoy the ice bar. I live in California, shout out to the Bay Area. I have no desire to do that at all for fun. But they talk with the friends at the bar, and this is where her friends were the MVPs because her friends was basically digging and grilling Colt, asking him questions, and they're like, "How is it living with your parents? Is that making it hard for sex?" And they're like, "So are you talking to someone else?" And Courtney goes, "Well, when we were in the hotel room, he was talking to two other girls." I said, "And you're just saying that so calm. Like, I bet you it would turn him on and his pickle would actually the man would probably stay hard if she was like, why the fuck you talking to other bitches in front of me? I ought to push your ass out of your wheelchair. I promise y'all that would excite Colt. Y'all could think I'm crazy as hell, but I feel like men, whether they admit it or not, enjoy a little bit of craziness and being put in their place by a female. I don't know why, but especially toxic men because they have mama and daddy issues, and I feel like that might help. I see why Colt is dating Brazilian women because one thing about an exotic woman, a black woman, a Brazilian woman, a Hispanic woman, an Asian woman, we not scared to run our mouth. And so the stuff that Colt is pulling with Courtney, trust and believe no other race of woman, no other species of women would fucking deal with it. He would have been cussed out, reminded who he is, read his rights, and also he would have had the opportunity, the female probably would have had the opportunity to know because we're not scared to make it known if we like somebody. So I don't know, Courtney, contact your friends because they looked like they brown skinned a little bit and listen to them because her friends was right. They were like, you know, if it looks weird, it doesn't make sense. You're not sleeping with her. So none of this looks like you're interested in her. It looks like they're using her. And so after they grill him, he goes away. And Courtney says to the confessional, like she's getting sick of it. I don't know why she went her separate way. Colt got into an Uber to go somewhere and she went with her friends to go somewhere else. I would have waited with my man if he was in a wheelchair or went home with him, but I digress. But I guess Courtney's kind of tired of him. And when she says she's talking, when he says he's talking to other women, I felt like, Courtney, if this man loves you, he wouldn't be talking to another woman. And he knows that. Like, if a man truly loves you, he's not just going to be out here talking to other women. He would let her go. And Colt, you ain't shit to be thinking that you could keep Diana around because you say you love Courtney, but you have Diana around because you wanted to be with her, but because you're with Courtney, you can't. That doesn't make sense. You got to pick which one you want to deal with and deal with them. But Courtney, I know you can't beat this dingy. I know you can't beat this dingy. Maybe you do need to live with your parents. But honestly, this is why it's good to push people out of the nest because Courtney is dog dumb. Obviously, you know what's going on and you're just willing to accept it because you want a man. This man is not attractive. This man is not sexy. If Colt were to lose 100 pounds, he would still not be attractive. He still would not be sexy, and he'd probably still be a leech. All I know about Colt from 90 Day Fiancé as a franchise is I remember him with Larissa in his mama's house acting an absolute fool. All I see this guy do on television is go from woman to woman And it seems like he finds ways for them to take care of him. He's lazy. He's a bum. I don't get why anybody wants him. And the only reason he has relevance is because of this television show. So hopefully Courtney figures that out and gets some sense because, girl, you are better than it. You deserve better than it. I hope you figure that out. And you're a pretty girl. You're a pretty girl, but I don't think Colt like white women. If he did, don't y'all think he would date some? And he ain't dating nothing but women from Brazil. He gives me the boy that used to go on the porn websites he could get access to for free and look at the exotic women, and now that's all he wants. Personally, I couldn't do it, but to each his own, Courtney. I hope that everybody who is here likes the video. I know we are not live, but I do appreciate the replay gang and everybody who supports the channel and watches my little opinions here on the internet streets. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, the last couple that we're going to discuss, not even a couple, none of these people are couples, but the last people we're going to discuss is Gino and Natalie. Natalie, you don't want Gino. I don't know what you want, but I feel like it's not Gino that you want. Natalie's massaging his head, giving him, letting him sit on her bed because she has a fancy sleep number bed. It lights up, heats up, massages her, does all this stuff. And she says she was an esthetician for 10 years. So she's really good at getting people to get real comfortable and just spill their whole life, pour their whole cup out right in front of you. I said, she ain't right. You ain't right. You ain't right. But I suppose that is what my hair braider know all my business. So I suppose that makes sense. But she asked him about Jasmine, who is Gino's ex-wife, who assaulted Natalie when she was interested in dating Gino, who Gino is still not divorced from, the ex-wife who also got pregnant while still married to Gino from the neighbor down the road. I said, Lord, ain't that ghetto? Y'all talk about black people and us being ignorant on TV. God bless TLC for this because they outdoing us, because that was some ignorant shit if I ain't never heard it. She got pregnant by the neighbor down to the street to the north. Okay. And then came to fight and argue with the new lady, even though she was cheating on you with somebody else. Y'all supposed to be moved on in the middle of a divorce, still battling each other online. So I agree with Natalie. It's a red flag. It absolutely is a red flag. And the fact that Natalie is correct, the fact that he feels the need to defend himself, because Gino's like, well, she tells lies on the internet, and because I'm in the public, I have to defend myself. You could tell that Gino, I don't think he has, I think Gino's still heartbroken because he did did dirty. And it would be unnatural to not feel heartbroken after the woman that you went to see in another country, brought back here and is sponsoring, gets pregnant by somebody else, cheats on you. She was also beating his ass. The ex-wife, I remember her, the production was like, no, 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 please, please. So that lady was whooping on him too. And it's sad because Gino was afraid to even take off his hat on camera. You could tell he's really insecure. And I just like to remind everybody that even though we talk shit on the internet, we have fun and all of that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I could be the ugliest piece of chocolate that anybody has ever seen, the ugliest black person anybody's ever met to one person. But to my husband, I am everything. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So it did make me feel a little like Gino pulled my heartstrings because he does seem like a nice guy. It just seems like he's very insecure about his looks. And I think that translates to his personality and how he moves when it comes to dating. Because I don't think Natalie is the one for him. I don't think Jasmine was the one for him. I feel like Gino would do well with just a regular person, not on TV, that he could find somewhere in his hometown. But he's probably scared to get outside and all of these things. And then like how he explained the social media personality and whatnot. Homeboy's insecure. And I feel for him. But Natalie just doesn't seem interested at all. He's hoping that things are going to get romantic, but nothing got romantic with these people. Honey, Natalie got him together, said, oh, yeah, you could try this, but now come out of my bedroom, get your ass to the couch. It pulls out to a bed. Here's a blanket, of pillows, some sheets. Good night. Good night. She tucked his ass in and went to sleep. And Gino was kind of disappointed because he's like, well, I thought. People who want love always want to skip steps, especially people over 30 who want love. You cannot skip steps. Sometimes you'll meet someone and you can have a blast the first night. Sometimes you meet people and sex may not be something you need to jump right into. And that's okay. But read the room, Gino. Read the room. I know you're happy she's talking to you, but she still doesn't trust you. And she's not going to trust you until you learn how to ignore your ex on the internet. Because she is right. If you are truly moved on and don't have any desire of being back with Jasmine, you wouldn't be going back and forth with Crazy Hoe on the internet. You wouldn't. I'll be damned if I'm arguing with somebody who had a baby on me by somebody else. Are you crazy? Absolutely not. I could have one eye, four toes, and look worse than Rasputia. I'm not arguing with nobody or tripping over nobody who done made a baby on me. That's one of the biggest betrayals in life that you could do. So no, thank you. But we will see more with what happens with Gino and Natalie as we go throughout the season. That was all that happened in this episode of 90 Day the Single Life. I was highly disappointed. I think the show is all over the place. I would like to see 90 Day the Single Life get more structure the way that 90 Day Before the 90 Days gets, 90 Day the Other Way gets structure, 90 Day Fiancé gets structure. This shit is everywhere. It makes no sense. I don't like the idea of the singles retreat either. I feel like they need to squash it. But, let me know how you guys feel about the episode, how you guys feel so far about the season. We're only on episode 3. Also, let me know if you would like me to start doing live video reviews of 90 Day the Single Life. Until you guys let me know, I'm just going to continue doing pre-records. Other than that, we are going to be heading into my other live. I'm going to be doing a live February the 24th, 4:03 p.m. We will be going over 90 Day Before the 90 Days. And James will be with us from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. So I encourage you guys to click the link in the description of this video so that you can subscribe to James as well as other creators like Kiwan JTV, Shayna_MCD, and Also Best, thy creator of B3ST Entertainment. But other than that, y'all, I appreciate everybody for supporting the channel, and we will see you next time for our next review. Adios.